Fine.
Chris.
User was moved Twilight to your Fang. channel. Is he
Hi,
someone
Chris.
I don't care. Just move him in here. If he starts being disruptive, we can kick him. Anyway, by the way, Luke, again, if I say something out of turn, tell me to shut up.
Yeah, no problem.
I can cut that out of any recording if I put it up or whatever.
We're streaming too.
I mean, it doesn't matter. What's said is said.
Right.
I'll just get chewed out by our handler later. Anyway, okay. What we've discussed so far is that we had to set up a meeting time. Tomino didn't like our solution. We provided alternatives. Tomino refused. We asked for alternatives from Tomino. He still refused. Let's flash forward a little bit. At this point, I had released my surveys. Skylord Luke and Megacrafter Crusade had all been working hard to gather suggestions and input from the community in a much more subtle way. We were all doing our own thing. For some reason, Tomino was upset about a decision that was made. I don't know what the decision was because I'm not going to spend 5 hours scrolling through his walls of text to figure it out. But basically, he felt that he had been slighted by Duke. And from what I understand, there's history between them, and I'm not going to get into that because I'm sure that could fill an entire book by itself. But he posted like, hold on, let me copy paste this and put this on a Word document. All right, a 3-page manifesto about how Duke was specifically making this difficult for him to interact and how he hasn't been able to participate because of Duke. And I mean, I believe I responded to that. I said, well, I mean, like, we're all working in our own way. I think part of this issue is that we're supposed to be like gathering information ourselves. Tomino dismissed that, still hung on to blaming Duke. That happened. It basically, long and short of that was, it was just a Skype outburst against Duke of Realms, our handler, and the rest of the council.
Did he mention the handler by name?
He did, but I'm not allowed to discuss it because he's not yet been announced as a member of Shine.
Isn't that an extremely inappropriate method?
It is inappropriate. But no. This wasn't on Twitter. This was in the Skype channel. So, I mean, the handler is in there with us.
Mhm.
So we all know who it is. He didn't mention, as far as I know, he hasn't mentioned who it is to other people because, I mean, that would bring down the wrath of Shine on him. Where was I? Anyway, after this, Crusade chimed in. Crusade was like, look, we've all been working. I mean, I'm all paraphrasing here. We've all been working. You haven't done anything. In fact, you've been opposing us at every turn. Like, we're trying to accommodate you, but you're refusing. What the fuck is going on? I'm going to scroll back up. Do you know, Luke, was that in the formal or the casual channel?
It was all informal.
Okay, let me scroll back up. Okay. All right. One sec. I'm looking for this.
Yeah, it's really long.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. The big thing that Tomino has been opposed to in the first place is that we've been taking unofficial roles as a council. Not like, oh, this guy is better than everyone else.
I can't say that name.
It's a reality that, you know, if we try and focus all of our efforts on every single possible topic, we're going to get overwhelmed. Like, for example, I'm heading the feedback and discussion of weapons, faction balance, that sort of thing. Skylord Luke is a big fan of aesthetic building, wants to make that more viable, so that's what he's been working towards. Crusade really likes survival elements, so he's been looking at survival suggestions and feedback for that. That's what we mean by roles, not like, oh, Comrade's the only person who can look for feedback about weapons. No, but I'm devoting my efforts more towards that. He has been staunchly opposed to this. This is leading up to, I still can't find it. This is unbelievable. You know, I think it might have been in the.
Azurite, I think, wants to come in.
User was moved to your channel.
Azure.
I'm bad with names. I can't English.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Azurite, not Azariah. Sorry. Go on, Corinne.
Anyway,
No, I think I was right. It was in the casual chat, which means I gotta scroll through even more bullshit. Jesus.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
it's in the car.
Yeah, there's. Okay, here I found it.
if you're using Skype, you can Control F.
I just did. Okay, almost there. I'm almost at the top, because like there's so much that if I try and shoot from the hip on memory here, I'm gonna get something wrong. I'm gonna get attacked for that, and I don't. Here we go. Anyway, almost there. I mean, I found it. All right. Okay. Basically, Duke said that the counselors are in charge of the council. We report to Shine. I'm never going to get that pronunciation right. Our findings, what the players think. That's it. They have very little control as to what we do. They have expectations of us, but I mean, like, these are very minimal expectations. These aren't like do a handstand for 30 minutes and videotape it while singing about how great Schema is, and then you have to sing Deutsches über alles 20 minutes. No,
I'd do
that's
it.
not it. I mean, I'd do it, but he didn't think it was in the council's purview to assign roles to counselors. And the thing is, we aren't assigning roles arbitrarily. We put it up there that, hey, if you want to handle suggestions or really compile these suggestions,
Well,
you can do it. It's not like we're
that's
it's not like we're
actually
forcing
the
you.
exact opposite of what the beauty of the council was supposed to be. It was supposed to be where everybody was going to be elected, and people were going to elect people who could do things that they specialized in.
Yeah,
you were
that
gonna-
was the idea, and Tomino is
and-
opposed to that.
And saying that that's not the idea proves that you have no idea what the idea was, and you have no right to be a naysayer in this matter. You just don't get it at that point.
Yeah, another issue that Tomino took was that there was very little organization to the council. And I'm looking at this rant here, and believe me, it is long and it is arduous. It goes over for like 4 hours. I wish I was making this up, but he doesn't think it's organized. And I mean, like, he's right. It isn't organized. This is the first council. We're still figuring things out. I mean, I don't know what he expects from us. I'm looking for the part where Crusade chimes in because he had a couple of like excellent points. Okay, yeah. Eventually, our handler says, "Hey, we're compiling all of our information on StarMade Doc in the council section," and apparently Tom didn't even know that this section existed. At this point, he admits that he didn't take StarMade Doc as an official site for Shine, which it is, by the way, for the record, it is an official Shine website. It is the official StarMade forums, even though it is part of GamerDoc. It's official. Don't ask me the specifics. I'm just reading the party line. Anyway, Crusade was writing up a thread in that council section to underline, any specialization, and Tomino was objected, and I said, no, we're supposed to focus on all of them, and Crusade responds like, well, we're just trying to figure out what someone prefers, because that way they don't get burnt out, and people who know what they're talking about can discuss it. And that's where the argument kicks off. It's basically, it just boils down to Tom wanting to avoid any form of roles. And eventually, Crusade says, fuck this. You're very clearly just trying to delay and stonewall any progress made by the council. I'm just trying to scroll down to the part. Yeah, and eventually Tomino says that if we I mean, I don't give a shit anymore because he pulled the trigger first. But if we talked about him acting like an asshat in Skype, it would be the last straw in a threatening sort of tone, I guess. Basically, he threatened us with silence.
Do you think that by the last straw, you think he was threatening you in some manner?
Yes, he was threatening us. Absolutely, yes. What he was threatening us with, I have no idea. But I definitely felt like
and
he was
this
threatening
does
us
go
with
in line with
I'll come to your house, boy.
This does come in line
God.
with some of the other actions that he's been doing. I've heard reports, especially from Rimmer, that people have been getting PMs randomly from some of their members, the Mushroom Fleet guys.
I don't know anything about APMs because I haven't gotten any, but I've also heard reports that since the news has broken, misinformation has been spread. I mean, you have no idea how strange this feels. I just finished watching V which is a sci-fi miniseries about aliens that come down to Earth and seize control. And they're basically fascists, and they seize control of the media to spread the truth. And I feel kind of bad because that's what Tomino is painting me as, and I don't. And when I say this is the truth, I don't like to speak like that authoritatively, but the truth of the matter is that I've read those messages. They aren't true.
If
Jeff
anybody,
has been banned.
if anybody
Sorry,
knows me in any capacity, they know I'm extremely anti-authoritarian. And if
that-
it's if I'm siding with the doc team in any capacity, they this isn't some political stunt. It has to be real because we mostly don't get along too well. And
Hold on a second. I have handle. Can Skylar? Can you handle this real quick? I gotta go deal with some family stuff.
Skylord,
Yeah, Skylord, you're a Ukrainian Hitler.
Yeah, next year I'm planning to conquer Europe again, so
Yeah.
and Europe will be red. So, Skylord, what are your opinions on this? Did you play any role in this argument? Did you because you went from being part of Mushroom Fleet to being now slandered and vilified.
User in your
by them.
channel timed out.
So
I was, yeah.
So how does that feel? How does something like that happen?
I mean, I was really looking forward to cooperating with guys in the council and actually making progress and improving the game and helping other players. And when I saw what Tom is doing to us, how he sabotaged every single idea we had, and how he basically trash talked us, and I was really sad. And when
User
he
was moved to your channel.
when he started actually attacking us, and
Back.
that was really heartbreaking because
Does he?
it's
Does
day
he
one I was.
was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how early on did it start? Was he at all productive? at the
Literally
beginning?
day one. Literally day one was the
For a
first sign of
second
trouble.
I saw, yeah.
So
And
I know Daman, I've heard was a former MF player. Did he agree with this ruling? I'd say that's a good way
the
to
issue
call
with
it.
Delmont, I'm gonna put this frankly. The issue with Delmont is that he has been somewhat inactive, but from what I understand, he has a reasonable justification. The issue is, from what I've heard, is that he's in the middle of moving house, and this
Yes.
has limited the amount of time he's been able to dedicate to the council.
He's also going
And
back to school.
Yeah, so he's got a lot going on. I can respect that he needs to dedicate time to that, but apparently that isn't a justification. So, from what I understand, though, Delmont has been on board with holy shit, Tomino's being an asshat. From what I understand, I'm not speaking for him. This is what I've heard. This is what I've seen. If this isn't the case, I will retract this statement. But yes.
And is there any? Are you guys still able to contact Tomino in any capacity?
I mean, I think I
Yes.
still have him on Skype.
Can you can you extend a formal invitation to this? And
I enjoy having all four of my limbs, so I'll pass.
and well, for me, I'll give him 5 minutes to say whatever he wants without anybody else talking. He can be the only person talking, and that way we can get both sides of the story, and
Yeah, I
make
love
everybody
that.
happy. 5 minutes,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
ifs, ands, or buts.
I'll keep a.
And
I'll
then
keep
after
a
the
timer.
5 minutes where he can explain his side of the story, you guys can ask him questions and try and come to a better understanding. Because the last thing that I want to see is for this to tear the community apart, which is what's happening.
No,
And the
it's
only
turning
way this is going to end up getting better is if people start working together, and I'd like to try and help foster that.
I'll keep a 5-minute timer if he shows up.
Skylord, you want to go and extend that branch? Because I don't think he really wants to hear from me right now. He's
Yeah, I don't think they'll.
Comrade
That
is
was here.
Boogeyman 2014.
Hold on, I didn't. You broke up there.
I am inside his TS. Maybe I can try to convince him to come here and
Try and get him in
politically
here.
talk to us.
I'd love to hear what he has to say.
Comrade is Boogeyman 2015.
I'm Illuminati. Yeah, right.
No, you were the Illuminati. Now you are the Boogeyman.
But he's still trolling the entire forums.
We're trolling the entire forum. This is true.
One thing. Wet TM, the guy from Skin, is inside the channel, and they are both ranting at each other. So I think it will take a little while.
One of the who?
Wet
No,
TM.
one
Wet
of
TM.
Shine's
Web
members.
TM.
Yeah.
If you want,
Oh,
get WebTM in here.
Is he in the other stream and raging at Tomino right now?
He's on Mushroom Fleet's TS, and they are. It's bad situation, so I just muted the sound.
Yeah. In any event, invite them here. I'd love to hear what they have to say.
Sure.
It's I find it very hard to believe, even though I have had past dealings with Tomino, that he would act so childish. It's unfathomable to me that a grown adult could act like that in the way you're describing. But I'd like to put it past him, but that's just because I still have faith in humanity, and I don't want to lose that.
I will. Oh, sorry. I'll try to keep an eye and look when the shitstorm gets a little calm. I'll try to speak up and invite him to come here. Because achieving a little of peace, because this whole thing weakens the community. More people from Mushroom Fleet are only going.
You alright there?
Ebola.
Sick. Are going to hate the whole SMD, the rest of the community, just because of that, and people are talking about conspiracy and that kind of thing.
I
This is
think
going to
you
faction the community
overestimate
even
how
further.
important Tommy is actually.
I mean, the issue is that, I don't know, for as long as I can tell, at least for a while, since Red Dog, Tomino has been a dividing force in the community.
A rift.
Yeah. Do you see a pattern there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a monthly shitstorm that wasn't caused by him, and I can't
this is
think
my
of
To be
any.
favorite
fair,
example
hey,
of
to be
working with
fair,
Tomino.
in his defense for that monthly shitstorm was more often than not an overreaction to something relatively minor.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely. But I mean,
mean,
it's still.
yeah, it was the subject, and I understand that, but you can't hold him responsible for other people's overreactions. No, yeah.
The link I just sent out in the chat is a thread that popped up earlier where they were talking about adding a mute command. Somebody requested a mute player command in StarMade, and I'd just like to read Tomino's reply. I've had no screechers so far, thankfully, but I agree that this should be at least an option, or at least the ability to modify their pitch for giggles. I try and patent a keyboard that could be remotely electrified to deal with these screechers, and it goes on like this for a little bit. Every few comments, he'll post something mocking the idea of a mute command, and he goes through this entire thread just saying that this idea is bad, and later on he goes on to state that if you want to meet players, you are, end quote, promoting ignorance in the community. And he says, if someone has no respect, i.e. they are told to stop and do not, they do not deserve to play on the server. It is really that simple. And I'd like to thank Tomino for being able to so graciously provide law for every server and every method of administration, and that he is the one deciding factor in the way that you'd like to govern your server. It's quite helpful to have a dictator dictate to you, and and I'm quite gracious to have such a benevolent leader leading the StarMade community forward. Tomino-sama.
Hey, remember El Presidente 2015.
I
I'd
mean,
like
he
to
does
throw
have a
out
guy with a
there,
cool hat and a good mustache.
yeah, I'd like to throw out there that Azurai brought up a good point that MF is having to fight an uphill battle, and I replied in the chat, they're having to fight a battle they've already lost. I mean, that's pretty much where we're at now.
Where we're at right now is basically the death cry, the final toll of the death bell for Mushroom Fleet. I don't know. I sympathize with him in that this is a community that he's built, but at the same time, he's acting like like a complete asshole. So like, there's not that much sympathy. Back to the council. Back to why we're here. Skylord Luke was talking about Tomino was attacking people, right?
User was moved to your channel.
Yes.
Yeah, this every time he chimed in on Skype or on the forums, he was attacking another person. And Crusade stood up to him. He eventually got so mad that he just left. He talked to me later, said that if this came up again, he was going to quit the council because he would rather quit than have to deal with this constant bullshit. And I don't know,
We're in a
I'm trying
shitty
to.
situation, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a shitty situation for everyone.
And
it-
it's kind of sad because what it's looking like is the first council is going to be remembered as
the one that
Tomino
destroyed the
Fuckfest
community.
2015.
Yeah, and I mean that's not what it is. I mean,
And
okay.
it's not from what I've heard from a lot of the councilors, is that you're all doing very good work and you're all helping to communicate with the Shine team, and that it's genuinely something that's benefiting the community. And now people are just going to lose trust in it because people are perceiving this
Because
as some kind of
of this-
failure. And it's not the team that's failing; it's some individuals that are falling short of their duties.
The one thing that I've heard a lot is that we don't have the authority to vote out another council member. And I said this before, but we never really foresaw this situation. We assumed that if you were elected to the council, you had the basic maturity to handle these duties, and it would appear that that was not the case.
You thought people would be adults on the internet. I think I know where the problem
Yeah,
was.
yeah, that I think that was our big failing. We expected the most out of others, and I mean,
It's not
you said it perfectly.
it's not others that are really falling short. I think the people who vote for Tomino actually think that he does something good, because he does do his YouTube channel, and while I don't agree with some of the things he says on there, he does do it, and it is something difficult to put out videos like that. I couldn't do it. I'm lazy.
I mean,
But
even today,
when you
before.
see like when you see this kind of thing coming from somebody you listen to and you love, somebody like Tomino, some authority figure that you look up to, you're gonna believe him aside from everybody else, and that's quite an unfortunate event because he's abusing that trust from his fan base, in my opinion. And I don't know about you, but it seems like he's gotten away with that, and he will continue to get away with that in the future.
Mm, I think it extends a little deeper than that. I know that there have been some people who have been waiting for this kind of drama to happen in the council, and now that it's happened, they're jumping all over it and saying, "Oh, look at us! I was right! Ho ho ho! The council's a failure." And I don't think it should be written off just yet.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna
Again,
throw it out
nobody
there.
foresaw this situation.
I'm gonna throw it out there and say I was one of those people who was waiting for the
Yes.
council to just absolutely collapse, and I don't see this as a council collapse. I see this as one guy acting up and the council taking care of things, and I think, for me personally, that takes, the council up a notch, as far as how they handle things.
The way that
I
the
mean-
way that I look at it is, he's one person out of 7, so he
Right.
is 14% of the council.
I don't see this as a total council failure.
I don't know about you, but I'd take a 14% chance risk on something.
Guys, mark
that's
my
a pretty
words.
good failure rate.
Hold
I'm
on,
going
what's
to
up?
have to say that despite IPG's rather disruptive tendencies on the forums, that I agree with him on this point.
Well,
Hold
that's
on.
just me.
What were you saying, Luke?
Mark my words. Now that Tomino is gone, you will see outbursts of activity from the council because there is nothing to stop us now.
I was wondering what was going on.
We were being held back.
I
There was
didn't
a
see
lot of
anything, and I'm like,
indecision.
all right, are we gonna see anything? And then it's like the council went dormant
Well,
for
no,
like a
I mean,
month.
we had nothing to show because
We're like
every time
trying
we
to
tried
set up a
make progress on
schedule.
something
Right, you can't even set up a schedule
yeah,
to get things done.
because
Could you
wanted it revolved around him.
Comrade,
It wasn't that we
could you just for people, could you put a timeline into perspective of how you think the next few days are going to play out in relative not to the council, but not to Tomino, but to the council? Like, what do you think? How do you think
the council?
the future will work?
Well,
do you think that you
first
guys
things
will
first.
be able to make progress?
First things first, we need to get the replacement in. He's as of yet unannounced, but if you pay attention to the voting metrics, it's pretty clear who's going to be next. But
sorry.
We'll be getting your Q&A
Sorry.
responses out shortly.
Grief.
Sheen has looked over them. They're getting the responses back. Jesus fucking Christ!
What?
Buddy, who was that? Remove him from the channel.
Who?
Thank you.
What happened?
Who was that?
I think that's skeptic.
I think
Sorry.
Turn down your game, Jesus Christ.
However,
trust me, I work in I do some audio engineering work. It gets worse. This is nothing.
User in your channel timed out.
however, I would recommend that we don't get another council seat. We keep with 6 people at least for this round, because otherwise people will think about, oh, they did this just to bring X to the place. Oh, they did this just to that, if you know what I mean. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Skeptic who was close, right?
Yeah, Skeptic was pretty close.
Skylord, do you think the council could operate with 6 members?
Oh, definitely, but I still think that the replacement is needed.
I think the more
User was moved
input,
to
the
your
more.
channel.
I'm gonna
Where
throw
did
this
I
in here.
cut off? I'm sorry, where did I cut off?
Comrade, I just asked the question. Do you think the council would function with 6 members, or do you feel
No,
that
I feel like
7?
We need an odd number. Whether it's 7, 9, 11, I don't care.
That way, there's no stale.
Just to
somebody
break the
off.
tie.
Yeah, there is always somebody to break the tie. So
And-
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
in
I
ancient,
think,
didn't look
in
at it
ancient
that way.
Greece, there was always there was the government that was preferred was a triumphant whenever there wasn't a dictator in power, and it was a group of 3 people. And the reason why it was 3 is because you could always have a majority vote, and there was always a majority of people represented, and there would never be any gridlock. There was always a decision that could be made, and I think that would work perfectly, and that's it's one of the geniusnesses, if that's a
the
word.
issue with 3 people is that
Well, no, because
we
that
run
was
into-
that was the
oh.
original. That was like the birth
Oh.
of this idea.
oh, I see now. Yeah,
It's just the I don't know it's where this idea came from. It's the little seedling that turned into the idea of having a council.
Yeah, I was
And,
about to say the issue with having only 3 people on the council would be that not enough positions are represented.
Yeah, it turned out to be really corrupt.
But,
Caesar had a little fun with that.
But yeah, what I was going to say is you will hear more from us.
So
Because what we've been held up with is getting things set up, and now that we have that last disruptive element out, we can
Cork voiced an opinion. Cork, would you like to reiterate?
What do you mean? Sorry, I'm a bit sick.
It's fine as long as you don't cough up the fucking mic, Skeptic.
You only realized like 2 minutes after I coughed.
Captain, you're still loud as crap. Just fix it, okay?
I'm not doing anything.
Go ahead, Cork. Sorry.
No, I was just worried about people complaining about, because automatically Captic would be the next to get the council seat.
Your perspective.
He likes
No.
numbers.
But people are going to be worried. But the issue is we don't have time to hold another election. That was a month long. Well, how long was it? Like a month, 2 weeks?
That was easy. That was about a month-long process.
Yeah, it was a month-long process, and if we want to go through and do that again, it's just going to set us back even further. So what we're doing now is we're just calculating the votes. Whoever's next up.
Without Tomino in the ballot.
Yeah, without Tom. Everyone who not everyone, but everyone who. I don't want to say this because we're not excluding the votes. But basically, every vote from Tom.
That's the way this. You're removing Tomino as a candidate, and it's just going to default.
That's basically
to their
it.
next
We're removing
election.
Tomino as a candidate. So.
And that's the way this voting system is supposed to work. It's very flexible in that way. And so
we're not
silencing
anybody. Like
you're not silencing an opinion. You're just
we're not like
one of their choices is proven to be unworkable, and now we're going to their next selection.
Yeah, it's not like we're like completely invalidating their votes. Your votes still count because remember, you voted for 5 people. Only one of those people was removed from the council. Chances are there are 4 more people that will get your votes. So no, this will not change who's currently on the council in terms of who's been elected, but it will change who takes the place of Tomino. And I mean, again, it kind of upsets me that we're even discussing this in the first because I was hoping that this could be conducted in a civil manner. However, this is not the case.
So we are going to have a recalculation of the votes that come to Tomino and go towards the other options.
From what I understand, the recalculation has already been done. They're just waiting to announce. They just need the person who has been selected to fill out NDAs and paperwork. So
I'm the winner.
That's quite an arduous process.
Yeah, it takes like 5 minutes once they get a hold of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the big wait comes for waiting for that announcement post. Although I'm willing to bet since it's just one person, they already have that post written out. They just need to wait for him to fill out that paperwork. You know who you are.
I think they're waiting for him to fill it out, and then they're also gonna wait for things to calm down a little bit.
The thing is, there are always going to be disruptive elements. In this case, some of those elements probably won't silence for a while. I mean, again, it's democracy. You're never going to be able to please anyone. And unfortunately, we displeased a huge chunk of people today with this decision. I mean, it sucks. And I do sympathize in that. You know, it's someone you voted for, it's someone you really cared about as a candidate, and now they're gone. And it seems that there's no explanation. Well, the explanation is being given here. Anything you hear anywhere else, unless it was said on this stream, I believe is going to be very, very biased. Right here, you have 2 of the counselors. I think we might have 3. No, we just have 2. 2 counselors, a forum mod. On the other chat, headed by Jath, we have the COO of Shine in an argument with Tomino.
I kind of want to watch this, but if I play it on my computer, you'll be able to hear it through my stream.
I've just been given the go-ahead by Miles, comrade.
Who? Was that you?
Me? Yeah.
Is that you who said that?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to announce you?
I mean, I'm going to announce myself right now.
All right, everyone. The secret Shine member is here with us in chat. I bet you can't guess who it is. It's Chris. Well, everyone welcome Chris.
Shine. Since when are you Shine?
I've been Shine since before the council was
Do you get a shiny badge?
Whoa.
I will eventually. Okay, so I can answer a lot of the questions concerning all of this because I am the one that just got the logs and I am the one that had the calls with Tomino.
Oh, Chris, oh God, I could kiss you right now.
You talked to that guy?
Yeah.
I would first like to say I'm quite sorry. I was on a stream with Mr. Ferb and him. It was quite an unpleasant experience. There was a few pissing contests in the process, and
people are still just going through the emotional trauma. Give them a couple days, and I'm sure everything will boil down to deep-seated rivalry, which is a lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
You say that, but then you think back to the Vader War.
And then there's another vote, and nobody votes because
Oh,
Tomino's
God.
not on there, and then everybody's sad. But
well, I mean,
but Chris,
unfortunately, from what I understand, I think that I don't know, but I think Chris can elaborate. But from what I understand, they were going to let him run again, but then this happened.
Who let run again? What?
Tom.
Okay, so here's the situation. We planned on removing concerning applications from the get-go because we didn't want to fuck shit up from the start.
concerning. How would
Tomino's
you define concerning?
Concerning as in if they didn't take this seriously, if they were unfit to be a counselor, or if they had a bad enough reputation prior to being in this the ballot. So there were about
Remind
four
you of
people.
anybody?
Yeah, there were about 4 of them that I picked out of all the applications. I read all of them. I gave them to Duke. I believe he added one to the list, and he removed somebody else. Tomino was on that list. But someone else in Shine, probably Schema, or I don't know. I actually don't even want to name names. Yeah, I don't even want to name names, but we all know Schema's a softie. Somebody else decided that we should let everyone have a fair chance the first time around. But that's the first, mistake we made, is because we honestly should have known and omitted applications based on how they were presented to us.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine got in.
It should be on the level of a resume. Describing what you can do and provide for, us in terms of this council. We take the interaction between the community very seriously. This is a nightmare for us right now. But when I read your application to join a council that will directly respond to our players and it's a joke, then I'm not going to take you seriously.
I mean, I don't think that you referred to this as being like a resume type thing. When you're applying for the council, it's like applying for a job. You're applying for a job at Shine, basically.
It's a temporary position where we get to coordinate.
You're signing NDAs with the company. You're being direct communication with people from the company.
I mean,
anybody else would call it a job.
You have legal binding documents such as that NDA with that company. I mean, you are part of that company and an asset of that company.
Chris, I'd like to ask you, since you've now said that you are part of the Shine team, are you afraid that Tomino's going to some way mischaracterize you now that it's not under NDA?
Well, okay, so
would you like to say your side of this story before he can
drag your name through the mud?
I can tell you anything you need to know as unbiased as possible.
Okay, so who was the first person to bring this problem to your attention? Did you see it yourself?
I saw it myself, and I was also the one that prompted every single counselor to make a vote.
And
that was a decision between me and Duke.
Was this vote conducted in public, or was it just DMs to you?
It was a one-on-one with all the counselors.
Okay, and but did the other counselors see the vote?
The other counselors did not see the vote.
Okay, so
they know the outcome now.
And have you? I'd just like to get this on the record. Have you played on the Mushroom Fleet server? Are you?
I have.
You have.
I was friends with Tomino for a while, and I defended him.
I just want to clarify that that question was not, from what I understand, was not asked as a sort of
of a counselor is talking to the other counselors and the Shine representative, which is you. And
right.
I'm asking if Tomino, even before this, with this not being a factor, this meltdown in public, did he try to do this, or was he just adversarial the entire time?
There were attempts to organize things on his end. Mm-hmm. However, when I presented an alternate way of doing so, or the other counselors did, he would completely refute it. So let me give you an example. He stated that he had a son to take care of on the weekends. I have that on a chat log. He very specifically stated that. So he has a son to take care of on the weekends. I don't know which weekends, but he said it was fortnightly, so every 2 weeks. It turns out that the Sunday that or the Saturday that I was trying to schedule a meeting, which was last Saturday, he had his son. And I had asked him to confirm whether he could make this meeting or not. And instead of giving me a straight answer, it spouted a huge discussion behind all of this. So that's just one example of how he could not, just simply express what he needed to express. Yeah, basically.
These are basic kindergarten skills, what we learn in kindergarten and before primary school. But on his Twitter, he claims that you didn't give him ample time. He says you gave him less than 24 hours.
Okay.
Did you message him during his daylight, his day hours?
Well, here's the thing. So we have the Skype chat. It's constantly open. We can go back and read things that we've missed. I personally take the time to do that. Whether he wants to or not is his own doing. But if he's going to not do that, that's a consequence he's going to have to take.
Yeah,
so,
he's expressed multiple times that he does not want to do that. That he refuses to catch up on the Skype chat.
In response to whether I gave him ample time to respond, I think he misunderstood what I was asking. I had asked within whether the next 12 hours from a specific point, most people were available. And I meant to say that as in, is this a good time period during the day to catch as many of you as possible? And he thought I was asking within the next 12 hours, was it okay to hold a meeting that day? That was not the case.
Disconnected from your channel.
But he blew that out of proportion, and he uses that in his defense. And I can understand, because he did, I could totally see how he misunderstood what I was saying, but I clarified myself.
Did you clarified yourself after the message, or
I clarified after he came back, but I could understand. So, it does appear that I just terribly worded that. You take partial responsibility for the miscommunication. I'll take partial responsibility for all disorganization, because at the moment it's supposed to be part of my job.
And you made steps to correct the error, is what you're saying. You've also worked towards.
Okay, so another suggestion was that we have week-long rolling meetings. To be frank, I still don't know what that means, because we have a week-long consistent chat open up. So being able to go back and read information that was posted shouldn't be an issue. In terms of missing out on a meeting, we had already confirmed between me and Comrade and the rest of the group that Comrade or I could record the meeting at any time and repost it for others to use. He completely ignored that and did not even respond to it.
So, not only did you give him an alternative to being able to miss a meeting, but everybody else was able to work with this schedule.
Well, it was expected that people were going to miss meetings, but
because the different time zones.
He wanted us to schedule a meeting that suited him.
So, but what I'm saying is, other people were able to work with this plan.
Yeah.
And you can confirm that he was the only one of the lot who didn't want to do this plan. It was just him fighting the crowd.
From what I understand, yeah, it was just him.
Okay. Well, that is, at least from my understanding, unreasonable.
There is one thing I would like to point out that he has been consistently mentioning, is that, and this is falling onto Jath, because I believe Jath is the one that started this, but he says that I scheduled secret meetings, which is just ridiculous, because the only time...
Did you also buy an underground secret cave lair
hold on.
for your death ray?
No. Just let me
use that for a nuclear missile.
Yeah.
Let me go through with this. So he says that I tried scheduling secret meetings, and I don't know if he says that I had accomplished secret meetings or if I was trying to schedule them around him. But the fact of the matter is the only time I got 4 of these people in a call was today. I have not had a voice call with any of them outside of today. I talked to Comrade once, and Tomino called me today to discuss what just had happened.
So there were in total 2 meetings that he was not involved with.
2 meetings.
I mean, actually, it wasn't even.
They
a
were
meeting.
in response.
Chris and I were just getting to know each other. That was it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
I talked to Comrade to know who he was, because I had never talked to him before.
You were just doing your due diligence, is what you're saying. You were just doing your job.
Yeah. Because Comrade seemed chill. I wanted to know who he was. I've listened to your guys' fireside chat. I listened to at least one of them.
Okay, that kind of
maybe the
scares
second
me.
one.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's fine.
Which one was it? The one
It's
where
interesting.
Was it the one where Comrade was a little
Tipsy.
intoxicated?
I listened
Nice.
to both of them. I think I listened to the first
Oh,
one
we
like
haven't
halfway
uploaded
through.
that one yet. I've been avoiding that one. I don't want to upload it.
I think you might want to abstain.
Yeah, we're not going to upload that one. That's going to be the secret
Thank God
one,
we don't do them live.
I got kind of hammered. Anyway, sorry, we're getting off topic.
You got kind of hammered.
Kinda hammered is a bit of an understatement, comrade.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Lekik.
Sorry.
All right, give me a second.
I'll be right back. But I'd just like you to can you, Chris, to the best of your ability, just from a completely neutral standpoint that you could take, what happened? Because I've heard from
disconnected
multiple
from
members
your
of the
channel.
council, so I have a fairly good idea of what took place. But I don't think anybody's yet to hear your standpoint.
I can respond to that in a second, but somebody needs me, so I'm gonna have to talk to them. Well, not talk to them, but I need to
I'll
get
be right
something for
back.
them.
What was the
Comrade,
question?
you take it from here.
What was the question? I missed it. Can someone repeat the question?
Just a TLDR of what happened.
TLDR, Tomino refused to cooperate. We tried to work around it. He refused to accept our alternatives. He proceeded to attack us, belittle us, and threaten us.
Oh, yeah, that's something that should be made a point of. He sort of threatened us, and kind of made it a point that this was what was going to happen.
And if we didn't go along with it, it'd be the last straw.
Yeah.
But belittled us, threatened us, refused to cooperate, attacked members of Shine, all around uncooperative. After that, he was notified on Skype, I believe. He was notified in as many ways as they could to let him know, like, hey, you're out. A vote's been held. The decision was that you were an uncooperative member of the council, and for the betterment of the council, you've been removed. You've been voted out. I'd lost my train of thought. And then Tomino went to Twitter to start a Beetle Bear Meltdown 2.0. That's basically the TLDR that is right now. There's some other minor details, like apparently he's been having his I don't like to use the word cronies, but it's the most appropriate in this sense. To spread messages saying that it's an illegitimate vote and that we had no authority to do so.
I'll be right back.
Well, okie dokie. I mean, there's really not much to say from here. The hope here is that Tomino will wake up in the morning and say, "Holy shit, I was being a huge asshat," and hopefully apologize to the community for being a huge asshat. Of course, that's a pipe dream. I doubt it's going to happen, but if it does, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I mean, that if you have any other questions regarding the counselor or anything, I mean, I'll take them until Chris gets back to enlighten us further.
Can you are there any?
I have a question. If you can answer it, actually.
Go for it.
I'm not too sure if it was answered already though. But what does Chris do as a dev or a member of Shine?
I believe his role is the liaison between the council and the he's the PR head.
All right.
So he's the Shines portion of the council.
One moment, I'll be right back. Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, basically.
All right, so he represents Shine during the discussions. Right.
Yes.
Cool.
Well, he's working on his YouTube channel, so, and he did work in his school, something, I don't know, I remember.
All right, and I'm back. No, the one thing I've also been hearing. I'm sorry. I just realized you're here.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, Cameron.
I was going to say the other thing that I've been hearing from Tomino is that we're not accounting for his personal life, and he's not accounting for ours.
I mean, I was willing to stay up to 5 a.m. in the morning, and I had a job in 8.
Ouch.
Yeah, we've all made
have a coffee
sacrifices.
factory next to you.
We're all making sacrifices, except he doesn't view himself as having to make the same sacrifices that we do, and it's only a little bit condescending, and it's one of those smaller things that led to the tensions that led to this decision. I mean, believe me, we didn't just willy-nilly go, "Hey, it'd be cool if we kicked out Tomino and then did it for shits and giggles." No, this was not a decision that came lightly. We did it.
Was there discussion?
The issue was that we couldn't discuss it openly in the chat, like, "Oh, gee, how can you do?" The vote was, honestly, it was not discussed among the counselors because of the issues of wanting to keep the vote anonymous. Mm-hmm. And we figured when the vote was given, the counselors were given time to reflect over the actions of Tomino and to look at the chat logs and to consult them to guide their vote. And
would it be wrong to assume that you voted to have him kicked out?
I don't think that would be inaccurate.
And if you were to vote him out, would you like to walk through what your thought process would be?
My thought process at that point was that I was elected on not a platform, but a assumption by my voters that the council would have real feedback from Shine. And it came down to the point that we didn't have that feedback because we had one member who is being disruptive and preventing that communication. And my thought process at that point boiled down to, well, if I'm going to serve my voters well, a decision has to be made. And Tomino has made it very clear that he doesn't want to accommodate other counselors, and that it's all about him. At least from what I can gather, from what I've seen as a counselor.
And just to clear, this is not the Shine opinion. This is your opinion.
No, this is by no means the official opinion. This is my opinion, my personal opinion.
Yes.
Which are not endorsed by Shine in any way.
I'm going to be right back, but you continue.
Yeah, I was thinking about my voters, and I was thinking about myself in the sense that if I let him stay, I'm going to be dealing with these behavioral outbursts for 3 months. And do I want this to be 3 months of the council working together to get things done, or 3 months of trying to work around one man's schedule so that we can avoid any drama? And I bit the bullet. I said that we should deal with, my decision was that we should deal with the drama and make the decision that would better the council the most, in my opinion. And I feel like this was the right choice. That's my opinion. It is not the opinion that may be held by my fellow councilors. I don't want to speak for them. That's just how I felt about the whole thing. Honestly, this whole thing is just incredibly tiring. I just finished finals. I have a few days off before I start work.
I am back.
You know, and now we're dealing with this mess. And the self-centeredness in Tomino's meltdown, in which he failed to think about anybody else on the council, anybody else with Shine who would be affected by his decision to act like a total dumbass. It just boggles the mind that, why would you do this? He even says, he has friends on the council. Did he think that this would not affect them? Did he think that they would be immune to his meltdown? Like, what were you expecting to happen, bro? If I could, I'd kick him out.
I've had some encounters with him in the past with long, drawn-out arguments, and I've noticed that he has difficulty with accepting the concept that others may have had different experiences than he has. If you're familiar with the Sally Ann test, go ahead and check that on Wikipedia if you don't know about it. I think that he might not pass that particular test.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Cut out for a second. Okay, guess it wasn't important. Now at this point, we just have to manage the backlash from Twitter, from the Mushroom Fleet community, and anybody else who might be frustrated by this decision. Luckily, this time we haven't had any major Twitter voices get involved. Like last time when Beetle Bear had his little temper tantrum, Scott Manley got involved, and we'll talk about bad publicity. Luckily, this time it's just been the Mushroom.
Big personalities like this don't play Star Raid anymore.
Glad Briefcase Speakers is enjoying his time with his Ghost Pepper Ice Cream, as indicated by Twitter.
God, I mean, I kind of feel for the new devs because they managed to avoid this entire
yeah, that'll be fun
drama. Like, just wait until they get more involved in the community. We're gonna start. It's silly. The one thing that I can say is good though is that whoops, that was not the right brick. This was a, I don't want to say a warning, but it's definitely a precedent that if you are not going to work with the council and you're going to remain a completely disruptive influence, there is a precedent to remove you. And I know some people might not be offended for that, but this is not like I don't like X, let's kick him out. This is a super majority. This guy, there has to be a reason behind it. It's not just I don't like him. So no, this it wasn't like we just came up with this because we were bored one Sunday afternoon. We had a reason for this.
To be honest, it kind of came out of nowhere too, because for the most part, everyone was quiet for a while, and people were kind of doing their own thing among the council. They were getting their own findings and talking, and suddenly, when prompted, sort of, Tomino is just decided that this was the time to not cooperate with everybody else. I don't know. Does anyone have questions? I can answer questions real good. Is Gravy Pot still gone?
One that was the one that I heard that was not answered, that I couldn't answer, was how did Shine initially react to this not to this revelation that there was trouble brewing on the home front?
Everyone in Shine knew this was coming.
Okay, so this was not something that was like, oh wow, gee,
didn't see that. The moment I told Duke, he told, or not Duke, the moment I told Miles, who is the COO, he told me that he expected, he may not have expected it, but he said that there have been problems in the past with Tomino. And it's something that they, as a company, have had to deal with, because Tomino was never part of Shine, yet he was included in their meetings for a while, and he wasn't supposed to be there. So when he was removed, which is, you know, the official thing you should do.
Yeah.
He got pissed. He also blames Duke for that. He seems to be blaming a lot of this on Duke.
Alright, I just want to clarify that Miles is Wed TM.
Yes, he is.
Not everyone's on the first name basis with Shine, you presumptuous.
Like, one thing that really... let me point out something else, and this is probably my best piece of evidence that Tomino wasn't willing to work or cooperate. So he advocated the representation of as many people as possible, right? And Comrade, would you agree that he wanted to represent people?
Can you elaborate on that? Like, represent people?
Well,
like which people?
It's obvious that he directly represented his voter bloc and that's what he meant. But I believe at one point he brought up the fact that StarMade Doc and his channel and the group of us here did not represent the entire community.
Yeah, and I mean, in a sense, he's right. We don't represent the community. We represent specific blocks, but that
Okay, so
just
let me
because we do-
elaborate.
Yeah.
Let me elaborate. So, he presented that, statement to us that we didn't represent the entire community and that we need to. Or at least that's what I gathered from it, that we should expand to other areas, right? So, I asked him to provide a list of other websites and other communities for us to establish a presence in, and he told me that it was not his job and that it was Shine's job.
Oh yeah.
Funnily
I
enough,
discussion.
not like 2 hours later, Comrade posts on the forums in the council section a list of other communities, some of them being foreign, in foreign languages, to the council thread without me even asking him. I mean,
Full disclosure, I saw the discussion on in the Skype chat about it, and my reasoning to just do that was that he's not going to do it. This is something that needs doing. Might as well just do it and get it out of the way, because it's.
But you could have easily just have agreed with him. You took the initiative.
Except it isn't Shine's job. It isn't Shine's job, and that's the thing.
Right.
We were elected. I mean, he complained that we're doing secretarial work for Shine. I'm like, well, yeah, that's a lot of what this job is.
Yeah, exactly.
And
if you didn't want the position, and first of all, if you didn't understand that this is a job where you would be paper pushing and reading through things and talking to people and doing all the stuff that most people don't want to do, then you didn't understand what the position was. It was quite clear that that's what the entire position was. You were supposed to speak to people, you were supposed to work with people, and you were supposed to present ideas to a higher power. That's what you signed up for. And if you weren't prepared to do that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and that was a lot of the issue is that Tomino was very he believed that the job was all about output of information. He's spreading the information. He didn't realize that we're also a form of intake. It's a two-way street.
Isn't it the opposite, like more input?
Yeah. Like I said, it's both. Yeah, we are responsible for. Bear with me a second. We are responsible for the. Where am I going with this? We are responsible for spreading that information to the community, what we find, but we also have to go out and get information for Shine.
Howdy, just letting you know, the Jath stream has just ended.
Alright.
Well, that leaves a lot of time for Tomino to come on here and talk to us.
Probably not. Remember, he's got to take care of his kids.
Oh, yes, yeah. Sorry, we have to.
Okay, that was a little snarky, but that was a little snarky.
We have to mistake. It's fine.
Hey, what are you talking about? He has 120 hours a week to work with here.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh crap.
Remember where he said that he has 15,000 hours of work done already? But he doesn't have time to work on the console.
Well,
I don't have the words.
That's quite astonishing. If you can fit 120 hours of work into a week.
On his application, now on his council application, he straight up said that he had 60 hours a week to dedicate to the council.
Yes.
Like it says, so it's right there on his application. I'm not making things up to make him look bad. It's literally what it says.
Yeah. Well then, he upped the number of hours that he said that he had on his Twitter page.
I mean, I haven't even been following that for like a while now.
Comrade,
so,
you obviously don't understand how he spaced it out. He's divided his work into 10-minute increments that he spaces out throughout the week. It's not consecutive.
I mean, that would explain the sleep problems.
That's why he can't communicate with you guys. He's going on break, like right after he goes on his shift. It's a little difficult. You have to work with his schedule. You see, you can't work with your own.
In all seriousness, we have to remember that we're discussing a person here, so we can't get too snarky. I mean, no matter what he does, I'm still going to hold a decent amount of respect for him. Not like respect, like, oh boy, I sure like that guy, but like he's also a person.
And
so please,
he does do something that I can't do. He maintains the YouTube channel.
Yeah, so let's try and keep it a little bit civil, but yeah, there were a lot of frustrations that are manifesting themselves right now, rightfully so. And we have a nor'easter blown in from Massachusetts right now.
Oh, that's fun.
No, just whoever's blowing on the mic.
Oh.
It was a joke!
Dude, I live in the Northeast, so I'm like, you know.
It was almost funny.
Thanks.
That was a joke!
Almost.
But, I mean, there are a lot of warning signs that this sort of behavior was coming, leading up to the election. I was looking for a post made by Tomino in a thread which has now since disappeared. If you remember the Starfade thread, a name that will live in infamy, but it's only some Mushroom Fleet person made a video. People were giving it feedback. I'll be honest. Some of that feedback was a little bit like of a personal attack, but a lot of that thread was like, "Hey, this video is kind of shit. Here's how you can improve it." Tomino jumps into the guy's defense, saying like, "Oh, it just because you don't think it's funny, it doesn't mean it's not funny." Or like, just because you don't. No, I believe his words were like, "Just because you don't get our humor, just means you're stupid," or something like that.
He didn't say our humor. He just said humor in general.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I can't cite completely because the thread, like I said, no longer exists. But I mean, I've had misgivings about the moment this started. I mean, I had hopes that we'd be able to set aside any previous drama and just make the council work, you know. And
that's not the case, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it got a little complicated. I mean,
so will the council start working soon, TM? Or
soon, actually soon, TM.
Actually soon, TM. Not
actually soon. All we're going to do at this point is we need to get Keptic's input on the meeting, and because shit, whoops, I'm sorry, my bad. But I mean, like, he's the next
good job.
voter. He's on the voter metrics. Everybody knows. Get off my case. All we need to do at this point is get the new person's feedback on the voting methods, bring them up to speed, and at that point we can start really going into detail. We'll start like holding like events that people can participate in. It's no longer just
banging your head against the wall now.
Literally, yes.
Honestly, at this point, fuck it. Just Keptic, yay. Sorry.
Yes.
It's just
congratulations.
It's an official announcement. Skylord, congratulate Keptic. Yay!
I mean, like,
everyone just turned into a robot.
Keptic,
somebody get a party
you're actually my
streamer
fourth
in here.
choice. It's actually pretty cool how this is turning out. Like,
I mean, like I said,
User
every cloud has a silver lining in that the Mushroom Fleet is acting as if they have no representation. This is not true.
User was moved to your channel.
They can go to literally anybody on the council. Even after all the things that Jath has said about me, I will still, if he has input, I'll take it. Because he's a member of the community, and I'm going to represent the community. Nobody here is going to like completely ignore somebody from Mushroom Fleet just because they're Mushroom Fleet. It defeats the purpose. I'm optimistically hoping that we can, you know, just get this over with. Like, just leave it in the fucking past. This is absurd. This 5-year-old playground behavior is ridiculous and not what I would expect.
The sad thing is, we're taught from kindergarten how to cooperate with people.
Yeah,
I don't know if Tomino missed the lessons. He might have had to take care of his kids or something. But